Hello there, my friends. My name is Selrahc, and I must share something with you. Most of my life was spent living outside of the prison we call society. In my younger years, I frolicked and roamed in the forests, and built many shelters out of scavenged wood and scrap materials. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I was out for a drive the other day, and seeing the blight in our streets made me realize we are living in gnarly times. I went about my grocery shopping, but when I returned home I had a cup of tea and reflected on what I had seen. I realized that I couldn't just keep my eyes closed, and that as we look out into the world, we can't hoard the knowledge we have, but must share it with those around us so that we can all live better lives. And so today I'm going to show you how to build a little cardboard shelter, a little survival shack made from scavenged scrap materials. Rather than a freestanding structure, today we are building a lean-to shelter, which is one of the easiest that we can make because it relies on a solid foundation that was already there before us. So the most important thing is finding something that you can build it against. I'm lucky in that I found these stone ruins with a fairly intact corner, and that's going to be the foundation for my shelter. I was also able to scavenge some wooden planks, and those should come in handy. When it comes to building your shelter, there are three main concerns: staying safe, staying warm, and staying dry. In some cases, staying safe is a matter of luck. However, when I made my shelter, I made it look extra raggedy and broken down and miserable so that people would think, oh, there's nothing of value there, there's no need to investigate further. Sort of a hiding in plain sight approach. When it comes to staying dry, the first thing to consider is your roof. The roof over your head that's going to stop rain and other weather from just falling directly on top of you. I attached some of the planks to each other until I had what looked like a good semblance of a roof, and then I thought about how to affix it to my chosen spot, the little corner. It definitely needed to be at a jaunty angle so that rainwater wouldn't simply pool up on top of it, but would instead flow off of it and then away from the spot that I had chosen to camp and sleep upon. But I also wanted it to not be at so steep of an angle so that I couldn't climb up on top and use it as a vantage point. It takes a little bit of fitting and trying, but after a bit of experimenting, I figured out exactly where I wanted it to be. So that meant I need to build a wall section that will both support the roof and serve as a third wall in combination with the two stone walls of my little corner and give my shelter a bit more shape and substance. And so I built my wall much in the same way that I built my roof. However, I made sure to have it with a bit of an angle at the top so that the roof wouldn't just slant in one direction but both directions and help funnel any rainwater or any other unpleasant weather away from my little camping spot. It wasn't perfect at first, and it took a bit of trimming and fitting and refitting to get it right, but with a little bit of patience, it was exactly what I needed. And so with a good fit, first I affixed the wall into place, putting it so that it would work very well with the ruined stone walls I was building my lean-to shelter up against. And then I put the roof on top of the walls, fixing it in place as well, and being sure to maintain that jaunty angle that I wanted to emphasize in my original thinking about the shelter. And with that, the build of my shelter was completed. I climbed up to take a good look and was very proud of what I had made. Here it is compared to a shelter I had made many years ago, and you can definitely see the growth of my skills as a craftsman. Now let's see how I've improved as an artist. Because I want to put some loving touches into this shack and turn it from more of a shelter into a home. I was fortunate enough to find a mixture of some substances, possibly some sort of black paint and varnish glue mixture, maybe Mod Podge even, and so that served as both a great base coat and a sealer for my shelter and really helping to keep out the elements. After that, for a bit of contrast, because that always looks good, I gave it what's known as a dry brush technique of a white or off-white paint, because that really highlights the details and makes it look kind of spooky, which again is what we want. We want a hiding in plain sight vibe so that people will be walking past and be like, oh, I don't really want to go take a look in there. Only the most depraved and rodent-like among us would see such a thing and let it pique their curiosity, thinking, oh, I wonder what kind of delicious treasures are in there, or, ooh, that looks so cozy. That looks like the perfect place to wedge myself into and lay down for a while my master tries to find me in vain, calling my name and making the special little noise that I always been trained to come running for, but don't this time because I'm sleeping so soundly in this safe little hole of a shack. Anyway, when looking at my shelter in comparison to the rest of my neighborhood, I feel like it achieves the goal perfectly. It doesn't stand out. It looks inconspicuous, just sort of blends into the backgrounds, especially on days where there seems to be basically no color in my neighborhood whatsoever. That sort of desolate feeling that creeps over the land and into our very psyches and souls. Really the spirit of the times in which we're living. However, if you happen to live in a neighborhood that does have color, let's take a look at how we can spruce up our little shelter even further by adding a nice layer of paint onto it. It doesn't take much to really elevate your shack to the next level. I found for me that just a thin coat of brown paint was more than enough to really transform my shack into a thing of beauty, looking deeply neglected and fairly gross overall. If you can't find any paint, that's alright, but if you can, it's a really nice little touch. And when you look at the place you live, even if it's a little wooden or cardboard shack made out of scrap, and you think to yourself, oh, that looks cute, that helps boost your morale. It's in appreciating the little things that really help us get through hard times. And as a final touch of cuteness on my own shack, I very, very carefully scorched the edges of the boards I used, just to give it that extra desolate, hopeless kind of look to it. The kind of look that you could walk past it from 100 meters away, glance over and think to yourself, no, there's not going to be anything worthwhile in there, and just keep walking. Perfect for avoiding roaming adventurers and mercenaries and other scavengers. As I said in the beginning, these are gnarly times, and having the skills to build yourself and those you care about a little survival shelter out of whatever scrap and materials you can find is truly invaluable knowledge, and one that I wanted to share with you. I myself am currently living in a cave, but I think my shacks and shack making skills are a great investment, and I look forward to living in one again in the near future, should my cave no longer be viable. Thanks for watching, my friends. Your support means a lot to me. There's a lot more to come in the near future, so be sure to check back soon. And take care until next time.